Welcome back to your live continuing coverage of Toy Fair 2017 on BeTerrific. I'm Michael Artis. We're live here at the Jacob Javits Center. This is our third year, but the Toy Fair has been at Jacob Javits Center in New York City for 30 years. This is the 30th anniversary. And there are a select amount of companies that have also been here for all 30 years. Total Biz Fulfilment is one of those companies, and Gary is joining us now. It's something to celebrate. It's a huge achievement. There are very few companies in the toy industry or other industries in general that have survived 30 years, let alone been able to display their wares at Toy Fair or in a convention like that for 30 years. It's a huge achievement and milestone. And obviously before Javits Center, Toy Fair was at the toy building, and prior to that at another location. You've been doing this for 40 years,
yes,
Toy Fair.
Absolutely.
Wow. Wow.
What a feat. And you love it.
I love it.
And you look forward to it every year.
Every year.
Wow.
Have my son in the business now, and who knows, he's at his 10th, and it'll go much higher, I'm sure.
So talk about Total Biz Fulfillment. What exactly do you guys do? I would imagine that you do, I don't know that much about the company, but I would imagine you do fulfillment for toy companies looking to have you kind of fulfill their orders and stuff.
We do. There's 34 manufacturers present at the show that we perform their logistics, receive goods, warehouse them, pick, pack, ship.
I think people overlook that always. Oh, I want to start a business and do this and it's a very challenging part of the business, and it's an easily overlooked part when you're starting and saying, I've got this idea for a business. I met some guys a few years ago who started a company called Bridge Keyboards, and they had completely overlooked that. They did a Kickstarter, and they raised an enormous amount of money, the largest ever on Kickstarter, until like a week later Pebble did $10 million with the watch, and they had no idea how to fulfill and screwed up left, right, and center, and then somebody wound up coming in and helping them and buying their company from them. But it was amazing to watch this trajectory of error after error after error, and that's where somebody like you guys come in.
Exactly. People expect in these days and times, when they order something, they get what they order, they get how many they want, and they get it when they want.
And it doesn't always ship directly from the manufacturer or from the company's like warehouse. It's a lot of times coming from a fulfillment center like you.
Exactly.
How did you get into the business?
Well, originally the company was a publishing company. First mail order books, and then publishing books and magazines on dolls, doll collecting, and teddy bear collecting. And I saw the industry shifting and moving, and decided to re-engineer the company to provide business services. So we've been doing this for 25 years now.
Wow. So when you started here at Toy Fair, you were still doing catalogs and dolls and stuff like that?
Exactly. Exactly.
And you saw a need, and you said, you know what? I think I should shift my business focus to that.
Well, you hear the horror stories about, I've got this order and, I'm waiting on this stuff from overseas and it's stuck in this container, and you got, if it's already here and you can have it shipped from, the fulfillment center, it's already here. So you can guarantee when it's going to get to the or you can guarantee distribution a lot better.
And I have a feeling, correct me if I'm wrong, that you can help companies also get it from China to here or from wherever it's manufactured.
We can.
Yeah. I just had this feeling, this suspicion that
you can make that a little bit more efficient for you guys also.
And people, I bet that when people first think about it, they go, no, we can handle it. It's cheaper. We'll do it. And then they realize, you know what? It's not cheaper. Let's let these guys handle it.
Well, that's really where the core of our business is. People are very creative. They create wonderful brands, and in order to put their efforts, all of their time, into their core competencies, that's what we do.
Yeah. It's really amazing. Now, how about your son? How did he get into the business? Did you say you're going to do this? Did he say I want to do this? Or was it kind of a combination of that? And were you worried at all that A, maybe it wasn't really what he wanted to do, or B, that maybe he wouldn't be that good at it?
Well, I knew he could be good at it, but he wanted to be a college professor. Went off to ski for a year after graduating from college, and said that he'd like to give a shot at the business. And I said, well, son, we discussed this. You were supposed to go out and work somewhere else for 10 years. At 30, come back. You're welcome. Doors open. And he said he'd like to do it earlier. So gave him a shot, and it's one of the best decisions I've made.
That's great. I'm sure that you were worried that he wouldn't have enough worldly experience or business experience by not doing those 10 years to come in, and I'm sure there were a lot of concerns, but it's great that he was able to stare those in the eye and take over.
He did, and the challenging part of our business is that it's evolved. At one point it was specialty stores, which we love, the mom and pop specialty stores. Then the key merchants, the Targets and Macy's and all of them, they would only put up a toy store usually about 2 months, November and December, and that got larger. They went all year long, and then the internet came along, and the whole thing started to change, and so now the retail drop ship has gotten very big.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. And how has Amazon affected your business? Because obviously, they're probably the biggest fulfillment center in the world. They not only fulfill their stuff, but they fulfill other people's.
They are actually the number one customer. We have 34 companies at Toy Fair that we do business with, and they're probably the number one customer of a majority of them.
Wow, that is unbelievable.
And we get their orders in on Monday morning at 5. And they have to ship Wednesday. 2 days.
Wow. It's got to be a challenge.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
But my son and our very dedicated team of employees have figured it out. And
how many employees do you have?
98 right now, full time.
Wow, 98 is pretty big.
And we'll take it in the fourth quarter. We'll take it up to about 150.
Now, where's it located? Is it centrally located?
Well, we're in Maryland. And 70% of the U.S. population lives east of the Mississippi River. So we're within 1 day trucking.
Now, when you went from being the catalog company for dolls and all that stuff to this, did you literally figure out, all right, it's got to be on the East Coast because of this, or did you?
Well, that was our predilection to do that. Yeah. We are going to be in the future having an additional campus on the West Coast.
Wow, look at this. How proud are you?
Very proud.
I mean, you're here for all 30 years. You've been with Toy Fair for 40 years. You're 25 years doing this. Your son's in the business, and you've been able to change with the tides.
Yeah.
You've been able to change course and all that because it's not been easy. I know that.
No, it's not. But I've been blessed to have good people around me, and we chart a course and figure out how to make it work and do it.
What's the biggest challenge you've had?
I guess I'd have to say probably government. The cost of employing people has gone up so dramatically. And it's not that we've always provided health care, vacation benefits since the early 70s.
That's wonderful.
But the cost of the health care and the benefits have gone up just astronomically in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and I think employees don't always realize that, how much it costs to employ them. So they hear a number on a piece of paper and they think that's all they make, but they don't realize is you're still paying taxes on them, you're paying benefits on them, you're paying all sorts of other things. You could almost double their salary.
Unfortunately, yeah. Or fortunately.
But they don't see that. They only see what they take home.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So
exactly.
It's interesting. And what about, was there ever a time in your business's career, I guess, I was looking for a better term than career, but in your business's career, that you ever really were up against the wall and thought, wow, I might have to shut this down, and didn't know if you were going to make tomorrow?
When the Great Recession hit in 2008, we lost a client that was 25% of our revenue in 60 days. And I put my sales shoes back on and hit the road with a number of other people. And by our employees all getting together and working at it, we were able to survive and actually do better afterwards.
And you were nervous, though, I could imagine.
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of sleepless nights.
Yeah. Wow. And so you hit the road. which is not something that's done very much anymore. When you say hit the road, you literally got on planes or got in your car and drove and went door to door.
Well, not so much door to door, but we would go to trade shows where there's an opportunity to see people. And in the beginning of the recession, businesses were, I'm not so sure I want to experiment.
Right.
I mean, they were kind of like frozen in place.
Sure.
I have to survive. I'm going to do whatever it takes. And luckily, we were able to convince a number of them and help them survive, too.
Sure. Wow. Wow. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I like this.
That's a
I like
great
this
story.
story. I like what you've done, what you've accomplished, and I like that, you stare adversity in the face and you say, not for me, thank you. I'm going to keep
Absolutely.
trucking. Yeah.
I'm going to take that back to the employees.
Hey, absolutely. And anytime you want, I'll come in. I'll motivate them.
All right.
Daryl and I will come and motivate them. He'll do a little calisthenics with you, and we'll tell good stories.
Yeah.
What advice would you give young entrepreneurs starting up in any field? I mean, because you've been through it. You've been through the trenches. I'm sure early on you were through the trenches. 2008 you were through the trenches. It's easy. It would have been easy. In all honesty, it would have been easy for you to say, them the breaks. I'm going to sit in my office and hope for the best, and whatever happens, happens, and hope for these salespeople do their jobs.
Advice, I think they need to really have an understanding of what their brand is, and then come up with a mission as to this is not only who I am and what I am, but what I want to be and how I want to get there.
What's the most successful company that you've done fulfillment for where they walked in the door when they were very early on and said, we've got this is what our product is, and you went, okay, good luck with that, we'll do it, but I don't know.
They ended up doing really well.
Yeah, there's a number of them. Briar Patch Games, unfortunately they ended up selling to another company, so that's how we usually lose a company. We don't lose it because of service.
Sure.
Because we're known for our unbelievably good service. But Briar Patch Games, Winning Moves Games, Carole Dolls, are just a few. We take pride in every one of them.
Excellent. Well, it's great to have you here. I wish you the best of luck. You're welcome anytime on BeTerrific. It's a great story, and congratulations on being here for all 30 years of Toy Fair at Javits and even before that.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to meet you. And
Huge
pleasure to
accomplishment.
meet
Both of
you.
you.
Total Biz Fulfillment. I love it. Thank you so much. I'm Michael Artsis. You are the Terrifics. We'll be back real quick with a wrap-up show right after this. Stay with us.